The year is 1863. America, once a beacon of unity and promise, is fractured. A deeply divisive war, the Civil War, rages between the North and the South. At the heart of this conflict lies the brutal system of slavery. For decades, the Southern states clung fiercely to the practice of owning human beings as property, forcing them into unpaid labor on vast plantations. The Northern states, however, increasingly challenged the morality of this system, advocating for the freedom of enslaved people. This fundamental disagreement over human rights tore at the fabric of the nation. Families were divided, brother against brother, as the war escalated. The conflict brought immense suffering, with countless lives lost on both sides. Yet amidst the bloodshed and chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. President Abraham Lincoln, deeply troubled by the war and the plight of enslaved people, saw an opportunity. He recognized that the issue of slavery was intricately intertwined with the war itself. Lincoln believed that by striking at the heart of the Confederacy's economic and social order, slavery, he could potentially cripple their ability to wage war. Moreover, he saw a chance to finally address the moral stain that had haunted America since its founding. This pivotal moment marked a turning point in American history, leading to the issuance of a document that would forever alter the nation's destiny, the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1, 1863, was a document that changed the course of American history. It was a powerful statement against slavery, declaring that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory shall be thenceforward, and forever free. This declaration was a watershed moment in the fight for human rights in America. Prior to the Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil War was primarily seen as a struggle to preserve the Union. While many in the North opposed slavery, the war's initial aim was not to abolish it. However, as the war raged on, the issue of slavery became impossible to ignore. Abolitionists in the North pushed for its end, arguing that it was morally reprehensible and incompatible with the ideals of a free nation. The Emancipation Proclamation was not without its limitations. It did not apply to enslaved people in border states that remained loyal to the Union, nor did it immediately free those living under Confederate control. However, its symbolic power was undeniable. It transformed the war from a conflict to preserve the Union into a fight for human liberation. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, played a pivotal role in the issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation. A man of humble origins and profound moral conviction, Lincoln grappled with the issue of slavery throughout his presidency. He recognized its inherent cruelty, but also understood the complexities of abolishing it within the framework of a nation deeply divided on the issue. Lincoln initially hesitated to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. He feared alienating border states that remained loyal to the Union but still permitted slavery. He also worried about the potential for backlash from those who opposed emancipation. However, as the war dragged on, Lincoln realized that bold action was needed. The Emancipation Proclamation was a calculated risk for Lincoln. It was a military tactic aimed at weakening the Confederacy by depriving them of their enslaved workforce. But more importantly, it was a moral imperative. A declaration that the United States could no longer tolerate the barbarity of slavery. With this courageous act, Lincoln etched his name into the annals of history as the Great Emancipator. The Emancipation Proclamation had two main purposes, both intricately linked to the ongoing Civil War. First and foremost, it aimed to weaken the Confederacy's war effort. By declaring enslaved people in Confederate territory free, Lincoln hoped to inspire them to flee their enslavers and join the Union cause. This influx of manpower could potentially tip the scales in favor of the North. Secondly, the proclamation aimed to change the moral narrative of the war. By framing the conflict as a fight for human freedom, Lincoln hoped to garner support from European nations that were contemplating intervening on behalf of the Confederacy. He believed that by aligning the Union with the cause of abolition, he could make it politically untenable for foreign powers to support a nation fighting to preserve slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation was a carefully worded document. It specifically targeted Confederate-held territory, exempting border states that remained loyal to the Union. This strategic decision was meant to appease those who opposed emancipation while still striking a blow against the Confederacy. It was a delicate balancing act, but one that Lincoln believed was necessary to achieve both his military and moral objectives.